Who is the most evil person who is still alive? Lots of horrible people on here. Still I can't think of anyone worse than Felician Kabuga. Maybe you haven't even heard of him, but he is one of the key persons responsible for the genocide of the Rwandan Tutsis in 1994. He is a multi-millionaire who had close ties to the dictator Juvenal Habyarimana's Hutu nationalist MRND party and the Akazu, an informal group of Hutu extremists who helped lead the Rwandan genocide. He also was the primary financier of Hutu extremist media outlets, such as the RTLM radio station and Kangura magazine, which advocated for the killing of the Tutsi minority. His radio stations played an instrumental part during the genocide as well. If you want to read more about it, here is a good article about it. https://features/2020/6/7/music-to-kill-to-remember-rtlm. And on top of that, he helped to fund the mass importation of 500,000 machetes in preparation for the genocide. I can't think of anyone who is currently alive who has caused more pain and suffering than him. He is evil incarnate. Omar al-Bashir immediately came to mind. Former president of Sudan who was behind the Darfur genocide. Absolutely vile human. Surprised I am not seeing Joseph Fritzl. One of the most heartbreaking cases I have ever heard of. Fritzl imprisoned his daughter in a tiny basement under his home for 24 years at the age of 18. In these 24 years of imprisonment, Fritzl constantly raped his daughter, resulting in several miscarriages and 7 children. 3 of the children remained with their mother Elizabeth in captivity. 3 were raised by Fritzl and his wife, Rosemary, and 1 was killed by Fritzl after birth and disposed of in an incinerator. Fritzl would show Elizabeth porn videos, which he would then force her to reenact them with him in front of her children to humiliate her. Fritzl has previously also kept his mother, Maria, imprisoned in the same basement, and probably sexually abused her too. Joseph Fritzl is now serving a life sentence, and the Fritzl residence, as well as the basement where Elizabeth was imprisoned, can be visited in Amstetten, Austria. Edit. Here is an interview with Joseph Fritzl, in which he cheerfully describes his life in prison. https u2.be/fgc2gyne0prg. Edit 2. TBE house can't be visited anymore. It was bought by someone who turned it into an apartment building and all flats are rented out. The basement also isn't accessible, as it was filled up with cement. Possibly Pedro Lopez if he's still alive. One of the most prolific serial killers in history who may have killed 300 people as of 1998 when he was released. His whereabouts are still unknown since '98. https en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/Pedro_Lopez_ serial_killer. Min Aung Hlaing. The Myanmar junta who commit the coup still actively killing their citizens every day. He recently airstrikes the village school resulting 11+ children death just because they heard rebels are hiding in the village. I'm going with Luis Garavito. He's a serial killer who was convicted of brutally murdering and raping 147 young boys. However, the death toll is likely over 200. He is currently 65 years old and in prison. However, because he aided police in finding the bodies, his sentence was reduced. He could possibly be out of prison next year. Women of Reddit. What is the most unattractive fashion choice men frequently make? Jeans that don't fit right. I'm a guy and I know a conversation about my love of cargo shorts is incoming. In the UK, the guys that wear the ridiculously tight trousers and loafers with no socks. Fashion starts with good grooming habits. If a dude has long or dirty nails, a crusty beard, greasy hair, bow, etc., then it doesn't matter what they're wearing. Get away from me and go take a shower. Too much camouflage. Hats, shirts, pants, jackets. What's the point of dressing that way? I can't even see you. Political or supposedly funny quote t-shirts. As in, federal booby inspector. I am not as think as you drunk I am, face vomiting. What's the best response to an ex who says, I miss you? This is the reason I left you because you keep entertaining your exes. Understandable. Have a nice day. Honestly, as someone who was in a lieutenant relationship but eventually ended it because we just weren't compatible with one another no matter how hard we worked at it, I've experienced this and had to heartbreakingly state the truth. I missed her too. And despite loving one another, we just weren't good for each other. We split fairly amicably, so I told her straight out. I missed her, truly did love her, but that getting back together after so many attempts to fix things would only just put us back into the never-ending cycle. I told her I'd always be willing to help however I could, and wished her all the best moving forward in her life. But sadly we just can't be together anymore. She understood and thanked me for the honesty. We still talk now and then and are both in much better situations. I find that most of the time, a firm but honest and polite voice is much better option than getting petty revenge. It's better for all those involved in the long run. Depends on whether they were decent or did me dirty. Give them the ol' Han Solo and reply, I know. That gif of Lucille Bluth looking bewildered as she slowly closes a door, then block. What have you finally accepted? That two people can see the same thing and experience completely different feelings. There is no point in arguing with random people on internet, it's a waste of time and energy. Being mad never solved any of my problems but sure caused me a few. I gotta go get it if I want it. That I don't have to justify my decisions to people. It makes me happy and has a purpose for my life that's good enough for me. Subscribe, my brothers.